Hiya, it's Anne Hughes here. I hope that you're well. I hope that you're having a good Monday. It's been so long since I don't think I've done a video since I was in Fintorn at the beginning of August, but I felt inspired by a few things that had happened to just come on and do another one this morning, and so that's why I'm here. Recently, I've done a few talks and just in doing my radio show, the questions that I ask people. And one of the things that has come up a lot recently has been what actually was that greatest lesson that I had from, having my brain injury in 2017, having my brain aneurysm. In case you didn't know, I had a brain aneurysm in February 2017 that actually came completely out of the blue and resulted in being the most momentous occasion, I think, of my life. And recovery was, protracted. And that question about what was the greatest lesson, and I know just now, and I see that often when I'm speaking, that everybody sort of forgets that things can change really quickly now. When I used to tell that story and speak to people before lockdown, I think sometimes people had maybe never had anything in their life that just happened really suddenly and really quickly, and therefore, while they could understand it intellectually, they maybe just never got it in the same way. Whereas I think now we all get that, don't we? That everything can change a lot in a very short space of time. And so I started to reflect on what was the actual greatest lesson if I was to pick one. What was the greatest lesson? And quite honestly, I knew very quickly what the greatest lesson was. I am and was immensely kind to myself in here. Do you know that way? It's like when I had my operation that finally saved my life about 9 days after my brain had gone pop, and they put a platinum coil in my brain, and that's what saved my life. And then it was probably a week later before I understood what had happened to me, when my husband and my sisters and my friends were telling me what had happened to me. And so I understood it, and I went to a place of being so kind to myself. If you've heard me speak, you'll maybe know that I lost my voice. It had been damaged when I had been intubated. And so for a good 5, 6, maybe 7 weeks, I couldn't speak. And I was dead aware that the only two-way conversation that I was properly having was the one I was having with myself inside my own head. And instead of going to a place that I could have been forgiven of going to, of you're so silly that you can't go to the toilet yourself, this is stupid, why you're being dizzy all the time, this is ridiculous that you can't talk. I could have went to that place of really criticising myself, but I didn't. I went to a place of being so super nice to me. I was so kind to myself. And actually, when I reflect on everything, therefore, when I reflect on lockdown, when I reflect on chucking my job and going it alone, which nearly 3 years ago now, so I'm doing that a long time now as well. But when I reflect on everything, and when I reflect on probably even times before I wasn't unwell, being kind to myself has got me through so much. Being my own best pal, that way. I can never be alone because I'm always going to be with me. And so in those early days when I was in hospital, and I was very blessed, I had a lot of visitors all of the time. But in the moments when they did have to go because the hospital made them, and I was alone and I couldn't talk to the people in the beds next to me because I couldn't speak, and I would put on my wee face mask and I'd put in my earplugs, and I would go to a place in my own head of being like, Annie, you've totally got this. You're going to do great. It's all going to be perfect. You just need to take it a wee bit slowly for a wee while and you will get there. And that is what continues. That is genuinely where I still remain. I am so nice to me. And I'm not saying that from a place of arrogance, because I don't think it can have arrogance actually, but have a contemplation with yourself is my advice to you about how you're talking. What's the dialogue that's going on up there? Because when you're in your darkest moment, the only voice you're going to probably hear is your own. And therefore, getting into a practice of being nice to yourself honestly can take you through the darkest moments of your life, I believe. and I always know that I will have that voice in my head. I've got it all the time anyway, but I always know it's there no matter what happens. I'm going to have my own back, and I really, really know that. And actually doesn't matter what everybody else is saying, because it's what I'm saying that's important, because it's what I'm saying that's the last thing I hear at night. What I'm saying is the first thing I hear in the morning. What I'm saying is what goes on all the time, regardless of anything else. And so that is my top tip of the greatest lesson I learned from nearly dying, and from facing tough times, and from getting better, from healing, from recovery, for getting through my darkest days. And so my ask of you today is to be nice to yourself. If you're not already doing that, and I hope you are, but if you're not already being really nice to yourself, if you're not being your own best pal, give it a wee try, even for a couple of hours, and see how differently you feel by tonight. Have a great day, and I promise I'll speak to you again soon. Bye.